I'm Erica. My son's name is Nicholas. He's 11 years old. He's in the 6th grade and he attends school at St. Francis. I actually bought the house that we currently live in because it was zoned to go to Bankston Elementary, which is a school here in Greenwood. At the time that we bought our home, Nicholas was 3 years old and Bankston was a level A school. As the years have gone past, the grade has gone down to at least the D, if not an F. One of the reasons that I decided to put him or transfer him to St. Francis was because in the beginning of his school career or life, he did well. He made A's and B's. I had no problems with him as far as him getting his work done and understanding his work. But when he hit 3rd grade, we started to have problems. He started making C's and D's. He didn't seem like he really understood what was going on. So I reached out to his speech teacher as well as his teachers to try to figure out, was it because of his speech, his stuttering? Was that a reason that he really wasn't reading and comprehending his work? I let him go for another 2-3 years and it really didn't seem to improve. Actually, it got worse. He still really wasn't understanding the work, and I felt like in order for him to go to the next grade, in order to go to the next grade, you need to build every year, and he just wasn't doing that. I didn't feel like he had the foundation he needed to go to the next grade. So that was a problem. So I started to think to myself, what were my options? You know, what do I do now? Because he's not doing well. So I took him to the doctor and they thought maybe he had ADHD or ADD. He was never formally tested, but because of some of the things that the teachers were telling us that were going on, they kind of thought, well, maybe he does. So they tried a couple of medicines. They were very expensive. Our insurance didn't cover them. So and in the end, he still didn't do well, still didn't perform well in school. He still didn't seem to be comprehending. So I made up my mind that I was gonna send him to St. Francis. Since being at St. Francis, he's done very well. He does have books to bring home and study, and when we were at the public school, he could even bring a book home to study his work. I would have to help him do homework by Googling because they didn't have enough books for each student to bring a book home. They said the state didn't require every student to be able to bring a book home. So that has been a huge difference. The class size is so much smaller, which means the teacher gets to really focus on each student and their needs. And we didn't really get that in the public school because they have 28 kids in the class, so each person can't get that individual care or instructions that they need. And I just know since being in St. Francis, I've seen a huge difference in him, and I'm excited for him, to be honest. I'm happy for him. I'm happy. I'm happy because he seems to be doing a lot better. He seems to like going to school now. He really didn't like it before. He always used to say he hated school, and now he kind of looks forward. He looks forward to going. I'm glad. Thank the Lord. But it is a financial burden when I have 3 kids, so it's a financial burden to try to even think ahead. Right now I have a 3 and a 2-year-old, so my 3-year-old also goes to St. Francis, so he and Nicholas are there together. But to think that I will have to later send a 3rd one to school that's not a public school kind of worries me, even though we bought this house to be in the city of Greenwood, and I'm paying these taxes, and I'm paying taxes and supporting a school system that my children don't attend. That makes it a little bit harder, just to think that one day I'm gonna have to figure out how am I gonna send 3 kids to school. If there were a voucher program that was available for me, it would be great. It would lighten the load off me a lot, and I don't think that it would be such a, I don't think that I would have waited as long as I did had I had an option like that. I think one of the reasons that I did wait to put him at a private school was because of the finances. I knew that it was going to be a financial struggle. I didn't want to think about paying for school until he got in college, and now I'm paying, you know, I have to pay for him to be prepared to go to college. So I don't know. But it's, I'm glad I did it. You know, I'm willing to sacrifice and do what I have to do now. These are my children. I want him to do well. I want him to be successful. You know, come on, 18, 21. You know, I'm rooting for it.